Hello, it's Mrs. Tremblay. This is for those of you who may have missed the Zoom on a Wednesday, December 2nd. And what you're going to need for this, you're just going to need your social studies packet. So get your social studies packet out. I'm not going to go over section 3.2 because we already did that one together. I did a video for that already. So we're going to go over 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5. I think the easiest way for you to do this, when I scooch my paper up, is for you just to pause it, and then you can fill in the words that I have, make sure they're correct. So if you, because you should already have yours filled in, if you have an incorrect answer, make sure that you erase it and put the right answer down. And for some of these, the order does not matter. So if there were 3 things you were supposed to list and you didn't list them in the same order, but you had all 3, then you're fine. So I'm gonna scooch this up to 3.3, and you should be able to see all of those. So again, this would be a good time to press pause and write them all down. All right, welcome back. So this region right here, you should have colored it orange on your map on page 2. And this is along the Pacific coast. Okay, so we're on the west side of the United States, the Pacific coast, inland over the Sierra Nevada mountains and into the Great Basin. This region contained a variety of environments. So when I say a variety of environments, that means it wasn't all the same. We learned about 4 different kinds of environments in our last chapter, like the Arctic ice fields, deserts, mountains, grasslands. So this region didn't just have one kind of environment, it had a variety. For example, part of it was a desert. And when you have a desert, you're gonna have extreme hot temperatures during the day, and at night, it gets really, really cold. You get very little rainfall as well. They had huge redwood forests, so redwood is a type of tree, and streams filled with fish and clams and other shellfish. And I did have to say my joke. I said, why are shellfish always sad? Because they're just so shellfish. They never share. Anyway, I didn't get many laughs, but I think it was because people were muted and I just couldn't hear. Anyway, these are the main tribes that lived there, and they weren't the only ones, but when you looked at numbers, the majority of those people were there. And possible artifacts were things that you had to kind of dig into the text for. So they did make jewelry, and they used clamshells to make a lot of their jewelry. They used their resources that they had. That's adjusting or adapting to their environment. They built their houses from the redwood trees that they had access to. They also used the redwood trees to build spears and baskets and made quite a few crafts. So you can only use the resources that are available to you, and that's exactly what they did. All right, turn your page to 3.4. And again, I'm gonna try to get my whole thing in here, and then you can just pause and check your work, and I'll kind of just walk through what we talked about. All right, so we're in section 3.4, the southwest region, which is yellow. And if you're looking at that map, you go down because that's south, and then left because that's west. This was the driest cultural region, and it stretched from southwestern United States to northern Mexico. So it's United States and then Mexico's underneath us. It contained some landforms, such as there were mountains, mesas, canyons, and deserts. So there were a variety of landforms there. The climate wasn't just hot, it was scorching in the summers. Like you feel like you're going to melt. And freezing in the winter. So one extreme to the other. This region received little or no rain, which makes sense because it was the driest region, and that meant that there were very few trees or other plants there. Here are our tribes, and hopefully you noticed at the Hopi that we talked about them in chapter 2. And some possible artifacts that you may have listed: clay pots, cotton clothing, stone and clay houses, and then they painted designs on a lot of those things. So again, they didn't have anything built from redwood trees because those weren't available in this cultural region that we were at. So they were adapting to their environment using the resources, the natural resources they had. Right, the last section we went over for social studies was the Plateau Region, and you should have colored that green. And this was located between the Cascade and the Rocky Mountains. So we have mountains, and then a plateau in between. It had hot summers and cold winters, just like us. And for water, this wasn't right along the coast of the Pacific Ocean or anything, so we had rivers for water in this region. They did have forests, but they only grew near the mountains. Other areas did have thick grasses and plants, and then they had a special type of plant that's like a type of lily. Here are our tribes and possible artifacts. Wooden spears, and again, they could make those because they did have forests. They had to travel to those forests, though, because they were only near the mountains. They had digging sticks because their homes were underground, so they had to dig to build their homes. They had basket hats made from grasses and wooden bowls. I would imagine they would need those bowls to travel to the river to be able to get the water to bring it back. So they adapted to their environment. So that was part one of our Zoom. We talked through social studies, and then we also talked a little bit about science and what we've done so far. And we discussed that the closest star to Earth is the sun. And surprising to many, our solar system only contains one star, the sun. Our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, has millions of stars, but our solar system just has one. And remember, its solar system is kind of the smallest, and then we go to galaxy, and then we go to universe. So in our solar system, there's only one star, but then when we branch out to looking at a bigger amount of space out there, pun intended, then we go to galaxy. Then if we're talking about everything out there, we're talking about the universe. And we also discussed the fact that stars up in the sky, some appear to be brighter than others, and that has to do with the distance the star is from us. The sun is actually a medium-sized star, but it appears really large to us because it is the closest star to us. And that was what you missed on Wednesday. I hope you're all caught up. Bye.